Now, Oliver, your album has been canceled how many times? Like 7 times?
It's been canceled 8 or 9 times at this point.
So what? So like once or twice, I feel like I can forgive and call it like just bad luck. But after 7, 8, 9 times, I have a feeling that there's some kind of shenanigans going on. Like, why do you continue to have these false starts? Why do you keep canceling your album?
You think I wanted the album to come out 3 years after I signed with the label? The label is the one not letting me release this shit. You think I wanted to put out EPs? Why? That's the equivalent of taking your fucking book and having someone pull out a chapter and say, oh, well, this one will do. We can put that one out now and maybe we'll put a chapter here. Only reason I did any of those fucking EPs was so that I could get budgets to make music videos. The whole thing is you have to give and take a little bit. And without these fucking things, if I didn't agree to do the EP, there would be no music videos. I would never have the major budgets that I was able to get. But it comes at a cost. I had to give bits of my body of work that I've been working on for 5 fucking years. Had to give that up. Ultimately, this is something that has been a long time coming. And through the process, I have become so fucking jaded working in the industry that this is my last album. So ultimately, let me just say this one more time, okay? Let me cut you off. Ultimately, this is my last fucking album I'm ever dropping as Oliver Tree. I'm done with this shit. The fucking record label can go fuck themselves. The fucking radio departments who just keep vampiring me and keep asking for more and more shit, they can go fuck themselves. All the fucking fans who I dedicate my life to giving them art and they talk shit about me, they can go fuck themselves. I'm done with this shit. I don't need it anymore. I put my whole life into it and all I've gotten is fucking disrespect.
Don't drive off, dude. Please don't drive off. Just wait. I have some follow-up. There's a lot of follow-up questions, but you're
Are you sure about this?
Okay.
Am I sure about what?
This is your last album?
Yes, I'm fucking sure. Let me paint it for you very fucking clearly. I spend 90% of my time promoting this music. I am an artist. I've spent my entire life making art. And now that I'm in this possible spot, and now that I'm in this spot where I'm making commercially viable music, there's a lot of stresses and pressures that are put on to making sure that the music makes back a fraction of the money that's being spent going into it. So there's all this need to promote and promote and promote. And when do I get time to make fucking music? I'm here spending my days with fucking bastards like you, Ethan, wasting my days away while I could be making songs, making movies, making art. And it's just, I'm so fucking sick of this shit. I want to go back to being an artist, making art, not just being a promotion sucker. I just sold my soul for this shit and I'm so fucking done, man. So I want to make movies. I want to do a lot of other things. I got to make the greatest album I could make, arguably one of the greatest rock albums of my generation. And that's that. I'm going to leave it at that. And the truth is, all music snobs say this. Oh, I like the earlier stuff. I like the earlier stuff. Well, guess what? You can have the earlier stuff because that's it. I'm going out on a fucking high note.
Why is it that the record label does not want you to release your album? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, let me make this very simple. When I was releasing music at the start, I had maybe 5,000 to 10,000 followers. I talked to the label, I had a full album made, and I said, hey, what do you guys think? Can we drop this? And then they said, well, the truth is, Oliver, you're not gonna drop an album until you have 1 million followers. Otherwise, it's not gonna count as an album. And I said this, 1 million followers and I can put out an album. And they said, 1 million followers and you can put out an album. And I fucking 2 years later, I get 1 million followers and I go to the label and I'm like, all right, we've reached the fucking point. Aren't we ready to put an album out yet? And guess what they fucking told me?
Why don't you tell me? I don't want to guess.
You need to have 2 million followers before you drop an album. They literally told me that.
Why would they sign you though, if with the expectation that
they sign you because they see the potential, but the thing is, to make these albums cost multiple millions of dollars. So for them to get their return on investment, they have to make a product that is going to be actually have an audience behind it. And if you don't have at least a couple million followers, there is no real audience behind it. That is the theory that they have, and that is their entire game they play. And I am fucking sick of playing the game. I'm done.
Do you think that COVID-19 was possibly a conspiracy to prevent your album from releasing on time?
No,
Did the record album start COVID?
Well, because COVID, I think, delayed your previous album release, right?
That's true. Yeah, that was one of the reasons. But ultimately, you know, the world got shut down. You couldn't do any productions. You couldn't do anything. It was like, what? You're going to release an album without the whole world built around it?
And so Is it true that you lost 150,000 followers on Instagram when you announced again that you delayed?
It was within the first 2 or 3 days or the first 2 days.
That's gotta hurt. I mean, that's gotta hurt.
You know what? Fuck them.
Right.
I want the real fans. I'm done with the fucking fake fans, man. They're there. They're like, oh, we're fans. You barely heard what? You know the name of a song or two? You know any lyrics, bud? Like, these people are fucking fake.
So you said that the people are talking shit about you. What kind of stuff do they say?
Everything under the sun, man. I've received everything from death threats to people who want to make my life miserable. I have people who stalk my fucking parents. It's a fucking gnarly way to live. Yes. I have people who are reaching out to my parents as people who are old friends of me and trying to get my number that way. And it's fucked up, man. There's some really fucked up people out there who have no boundaries.
That's true, actually. That is actually true. And
you guys have experienced it. Tell me about it. I want to hear about yours.
No, I agree. People don't have boundaries. It's strange that people don't understand that they shouldn't do those things. You know, sometimes people come to our house and they somehow don't realize what they're doing is super creepy and weird and wrong. But when I've been calling your parents, for example, trying to get your cell number, but because we've met before, obviously it's not a big deal. And I also had a few other people, like, because your parents blocked my number. So I recruited some people on Craigslist, but they're contacting them through me. So I know it's fine, but some people just don't get it. Right?
That was you?
Well, no, it was by proxy.
Are you telling me you're the fucking guy who's getting my fucking phone number from my parents?
By proxy. Yeah, I have people do it. It's not me directly because they blocked my number already.
All right, dude, let's wrap this fucking interview up, dude. Is there any questions?
Yeah. When's the last time you washed that jacket?
Okay, dude, fuck you. I'm so done with this shit.